Let's wait till the 12th, the day of the wedding ceremony, when the princess undoubtedly will appear to pay homage to her parents. Let Old Monkey take a look at her from the side. If she were a real woman, it wouldn't be too bad for you to become the royal son-in-law and enjoy the glory of a nation." These words sent Tripitaka into greater fury. "You wretched ape!" he cried. "You still want to injure me? As Wunang puts it, 9/10 of our journey has been covered already, and you still stab me with your hot tongue. Stop wagging it, and don't you dare open that stinking mouth of yours. If you behave with such insolence just one more time, I'll recite that spell to make life intolerable for you." When Pilgrim heard that he wanted to recite the spell, he was so horrified that he immediately went to his knees and said, "Don't do that. Don't do that. If she were a real woman, we'd wait till the time of the mutual vows, and then we would create havoc in the palace and get you out." As master and disciples conversed, the announcement of the night watches began. Truly, the palace clock drips slowly. The floral scent spreads softly. The boudoir drops its pearly screen. In empty yards, no lights are seen. The swings stand idle, showing only their shades. All is quiet as a tangut flute fades. The moon on the blossoms confers her grace. The stars seem brighter in a treeless space. The nightjar ends her song. The butterfly dream is long. The Milky Way crosses the sky, as white clouds to one's homeland fly. A time when travelers feel the keenest pain, saddened by the wind-swept young willow skein. "Master," said 8 Rules, "it's late. If there's anything important, discuss it tomorrow. Let's go to sleep. Let's go to sleep." Master and disciples indeed enjoyed a restful night. Soon the golden rooster announced the arrival of dawn, and the king ascended the main hall for his early audience. You see the palace open, the purple aura high. Windblown, royal music rends the blue sky. Clouds move the leopards' tails and banners shake. The sun hits carved dragons and girdled jades quake. Fragrant mist heightens the palace willow green. Dewdrops moisten the flowers' imperial sheen. Midst shouts and dances the ministers stand. For peace and harmony reign o'er the land. After the 100 officials, both civil and military, had paid their homage, the king gave this order. Let the court of imperial entertainments prepare the wedding banquet for the 12th. For today, however, let us make ready some spring wine and entertain our royal son-in-law in the imperial garden. He also instructed the director of the Bureau of Ceremonies to take the 3 worthy kinsmen back to the College of Interpreters. There they would be served a vegetarian feast by the Court of Imperial Entertainments. The staff from the Office of Music would be asked to play at both the college and the garden, so that all could be entertained while they spent time enjoying the sight of spring. When 8 Rules heard all this, he at once spoke up and said, "Your Majesty, since we, master and disciples, made each other's acquaintance, we have not been separated for a single moment. Today, if you plan to eat and drink in the imperial garden, take us along and let us play for a couple of days. That's the way for you to make my master your royal son-in-law. Otherwise, I fear that you may find it hard to carry out this scheme." The king had already noticed 8 Rules' hideous appearance and vulgar manner of speech. And when he saw him sticking out his snout and wagging his ears, constantly twisting his head and kneading his neck, he thought the speaker was showing signs of madness. Fearing that the marriage might be ruined, the king had no choice but to agree to the demands. "Prepare 2 tables," said the king, "in the eternal pacification of the Chinese and barbarian loft, where we shall sit with our royal son-in-law. 3 other tables are to be set up in the spring detaining arbor for those 3 guests. Master and disciples, we fear, may not find it convenient to sit together." Only then did our idiot bow and say, "Thank you," before each person withdrew. The king also issued this order that the official in charge of the inner palace prepare another banquet, so that the queen and the consorts of 3 palaces and 6 chambers could assist the princess in putting on her headgear and present her with her dowry in anticipation of the fine match set for the 12th. By about the hour of the serpent, the king called for his carriage, and invited the Tang monk and his companions to go to the imperial garden. As they looked around, they saw a marvelous place indeed. The paths made of colored stones. The railings bear carved patterns. The paths made of colored stones, by the side of which rare blossoms grow. The railings bear carved patterns, within and beyond which strange flora flourish. Lush peaches bewitch the kingfishers. Young willows display the orioles. A walk brings quiet fragrance to fill your sleeves. A stroll makes much pure scent cling to your robe. A phoenix terrace and a dragon pool. A bamboo garret and a pine arbor. On the phoenix terrace, a flute bids phoenixes to come courteously. In the dragon pool, fishes raised their change into dragons to leave. The bamboo garret has poems, all lofty rhymes composed with utmost skill. The pine arbor has essays, a noble collection of pearl and jade. Green rocks form artificial hills. The winding streams azure and deep. The true peony arbor, the cinnamon rose props, seem like thick damask and brocade spread out. The moly fence, the pyrus patch, appear as mist or jade piled up. The peony has exotic scent. The Sichuan mallow shows rare glamour. White pears vie with red apricots for fragrance. Purple orchids strive with gold daylilies for brilliance. The lichun flower, the wood brush flower, and the azalea are all fresh and fiery. The crepe flower, the fengxian flower, and the jade pin flower are all tall and trembly. Each spot of red ripeness seems like moistened rouge. Each clump of dense fragrance is a brocade round. A joy's the east wind recalling the warm sun. The whole garden's lit up and with charms o'errun. The king and his several guests viewed this scenery for a long time. Then the director of ceremonies came to invite Pilgrim and his two brothers to go to the spring detaining arbor, while the king took the Tang monk to the Chinese and barbarian loft, each party being served separately. The music and dance, the decorations and appointments were quite extraordinary. Truly, the heaven gate's rugged in the morning light. On dragon towers auspicious mists alight. The soft hues of spring the flora adorn. Silk robes shimmer, struck by the rays of dawn. Like feastings of gods pipes and songs resound. With juices of jade the cups make their rounds. Joined in their fun are both subjects and king. A world at peace must prosperity bring. When the elder saw what great esteem the king showed him, he had little choice but to force himself to participate in the revelry. Truly, he showed delight without but harbored anxiety within. At the place where they were sitting, there were 4 gilded screens hanging on the wall, on which were painted the scenes of the 4 seasons. Inscribed on these paintings were poems, all compositions by noted scholars of the Hailing Academy. The poem of spring says, "The cycle of nature has made its turn. The great earth quickens, and all things seem new. Plums vie with peaches in their beauteous blooms. Swallows pile on carved beams their scented dust." The poem of summer says, "The south wind blows to cause our thoughts delay. The sun beams on quai and pomegranate. A jade flute's soft notes stir our midday dream. When scent of water lily spreads to the drapes." The poem of autumn says, "Of golden wells Paulownia one leaf's yellow. Draw not the pearl screen for the night has frost. The swallows know it's time to leave their nests, as wild geese depart for another land." The poem of winter says, "The rain clouds make the sky both dark and cold, and wind blows the snow to build 1,000 hills. The palace, of course, has a warm, red stove. When plum blossoms o'erlay with jade the rails." When the king saw how intently the Tang monk was staring at the poems, he said, If the royal son-in-law finds the flavor of poetry so attractive, he too must be skilled in the art of chanting and composition. If you are not parsimonious with your pearl and jade, please give a reply in kind to each of the poems, using the same rhymes. Will you do that? Now the elder was someone who could lose himself in such scenery, for his mind was enlightened by the vision of seeing the Buddha nature in all things. When he heard the king favoring him with such a request, he blurted out the sentence, "The sun melts the ice as the great earth turns." Exceedingly pleased, the king said to one of the palace attendants, "Bring out the library's 4 treasures. Record the poetic replies of our royal son-in-law, so that we may slowly savor them." The elder did not refuse. In delight, he took up the brush to write a reply to the poem of spring. The sun melts the ice as the great earth turns. This day the king's garden blossoms anew. The people are blessed with such clement clime. For rivers and seas are rid of worldly dust. A reply to the poem of summer. The dipper points south to cause the day's delay. Ablaze are the hwai and pomegranate. Orioles and swallows midst the willow sing, and send their lovely duet through the drapes. A reply to the poem of autumn. Fragrance the orange, green and yellow. The verdant pine and cypress love their frost. Brocade-like, the chrysanthemums half in bloom. Our songs resound through cloud and waterland. A reply to the poem of winter. The snow has stopped, but still the air is cold. When jagged rocks like jade surround the hills, the stove's beast-shaped charcoals have warmed the milk. We sing, hands in sleeves, and lean on the rails. The king read the poems, and he could not have been more pleased. What a marvelous line!